Didn't sound good. Hello and welcome back to, I really haven't thought more than surface level about this project, but my crafter's audacity is convincing me that, it won't be that bad. Yep, I don't know. This room has been splendid. Have I used it for sewing literally one single time? No. But it has served as a guest room twice now, going on 3 times. So it's been very, very nice. Something that I would like to do this year is kind of break up projects just bit by bit. It's more digestible. The probiotic yogurt of crafts. I have always loved the idea of impossible book stack. It's almost as tall as you are. It could be leaning at sort of an impossible angle that would be tipping over. I feel like it looks really cute. Go like next to the fireplace. It's begging for a book stack. And while this will undoubtedly bring the vibes, it's also double purpose. I would like to clear out some of my trash stash. Wouldst thou like to see it? Okay, I mean, I guess. Calm down, I'll show you. Trash stash. It is freaking freezing in here. I have a plethora of insulation boards, styrofoam, packaging that I decided was worth keeping because of course I did. I think between all of this, I will have enough to make a fat stack of books. Making the rectangles and the bases out of styrofoam, whatever I can get my grubby mitts on, and then covering that in either paper or some fabric that I need to get rid of some scraps. But as far as the structure, I guess that kind of has to be my first step, is to go into the garage into our very extremely organized collection of leftover wood. The hope being that I don't have to go to the home improvement store, because I really don't like to do that. Take a wooden dowel at whatever height I would like my stack to be, a rectangular wooden base, and that way it has stability. Why did I say it like that? Stability. Silly me, pronouncing my T's like actual T's. I don't think so. Giving it the illusion of being, you know, like enchanted or something. To the wood pile. Okay. Ugh. See a dowel up there. Whoa. It's a bit short. I think I saw another one over there. It's worth mentioning that I think it is about 12 degrees in this garage right now. Yeah. Right. Focus on my face, please. I am indeed a human. Focus on me. Unfortunately, this is all I could find. It's not quite long enough. I think let's start with this and see where we get. I think this is probably gonna be okay for now. While I do that and while I try to regain some feeling, this video is sponsored, so to talk briefly about that, here's sponsor Rachel. Oh, hi. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Now, it may come as a surprise to you, a total shock, an unbelievable twist in my character development. This year, I wanted to challenge myself to learn how to make things not out of trash. And so that is where Skillshare comes in. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives. Thousands and thousands of classes led by industry experts like film, illustration, painting, design, pretty much anything you could think of. Specifically for me, this time around, I wanted to give myself a little lesson on wood carving and woodworking.
Treat this process of roughing out the body as a meditation and a great practice.
There are tutorials for free online, but a lot of them don't go into super in-depth like you're actually taking a course or a class. I needed to, except I'm a little baby and I don't dive without plugging my nose, so it's a little bit more like, I feel like practicing creativity can be just as rewarding as any other aspect of mental health. If you are like me and in this new year you want to teach yourself a new skill but actually feel like you're learning from a teacher, then Skillshare is absolutely the place to go. The first 500 people to click on the link in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. And before ados are in any way furthered, let's get back to making things out of trash, baby. Unfortunately, I did begrudgingly decide to go to the home improvement store. Picked out some longer dowels, a base, and as the kids say, you know that I had to do it to them. Shall not pass! Anywho, headed home and had Nick's help in cutting them. All right, now that we've got the dowels all cut out to the lengths that I want, that's right, your girl got upgraded. For Crimbo, Nick got me tools of my own. I'm about to be the Lara Croft of crafting. Lara Craft. Come on, it was right there, I had to do it. In addition to the dowels, these, hopefully they're gonna be enough to support the weight of the dowel. It does have a little gibbet here. My dowel, drill a hole, place it, yoink. We will have a really long toilet paper holder. This might be a little ambitious for a book stack, but I think it would be really stinking cool.
Wow.
The one thing field hockey was good for in high school. Definitely not my desecrated back. Let's do it. Okay, for the first book, which was a cutie little Christmas gift from June's Journey. Precious. But it's like a nice box. Pretty book shaped. Cut a hole in the bottom, hole the size of this. Boop. Slide down. Cut off this flap. It'll look much more like a book. To cut the styrofoam, I thought my hot knife would work, and it did. Cut it like butter. Problem being, though, the amount of smoke this made my barn look like a theatrical production of The Fog. Once I had it cut out, I grabbed some scrap fabric, made it the size I wanted it, and just kind of wrapped it like you would your social studies book. Then I used those craft foam sheets again for the pages. Let's make some friggin' books. So at the end of yesterday, as you saw, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think it looks like pages. Today is gonna be all about making a million books for this tower. I have plenty more styrofoam. I've got cardboard boxes. I'm gonna go a little crazy. My brain is not functioning at highest capacity right now. It's so cold out. My body is in like pure survival mode. So funny quips, charming witticism is just not something I'm capable of right now. Probably enter some sort of craft-induced blackout. We got a lot of books to fill this tower. How many, you ask? Well, we've got 1, 2. If I had to guess, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably about 10 more books. What have I done? For the cardboard box, I basically just tore it apart and then scored the binding so that it would be more curvy. My bright idea was to do all of the burning right near the door so that it would blow out, but as you can see, the cross breeze was not working for me. This is about the part in the project when I realize I may have made a mistake. I said this is where I realize I've made a mistake. No. See, you're supposed to then say exactly what I said. Classic George of the Jungle joke. We just did that bit like 2 videos ago. Aw, please. I'm not saying it. Fine then. After that obvious disrespectful slight to the narrator, I moved on. I enjoy most parts of crafting projects, but doing this for 20 books in a row, I think I felt my soul leave my body on multiple occasions. I did eventually run out of foam, so for a couple of them I just glued some paper and planned to paint the lines on. Good God, that took forever. Woof. Good news is we have all of our books cut out. There they all are. And on top of being cut out, they all have their pages. I do have to go in and either paint them or Dremel them like I did for that one down there. So that's another thing that needs to happen. 2 of them are bound, which took a very long time to do. And so we have quite a lot of work ahead of us. Maybe have made a miscalculation on timing. I'm gonna call it quits for today because I am so tired from doing all of that. Tomorrow I need to bind and paint all of these. I'm not crazy about how it looks. It's okay. Loose. Which may or may not look like, you know, like an old tome, but if I can find a way to make it look similar but better, that's the ideal. Here's to my gosh dang audacity and lying to my brain that it won't be too bad. See you tomorrow, kids. It is insultingly cold outside. When you step outside and there's a gust of wind and you're just like, that's what it feels like. We got work to do. So I've got a little less than half of the books bound. As a sobering reminder of my miscalculation. Oh no, actually it's more like a third. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Some of them will be in this faux leather. Then I started doing some in the more canvasy material. Not only was it way easier to glue, I think it looks a lot neater, a little bit more tight. Quite simply, my friends, I need to continue. It's speed run time. Let's go. Oh, frick.
"75 years later."
Now, unfortunately, we're not done yet. I have to go in and add all the lines to the pages, and then we can paint. Okay, let's go. Now that all of the books are now dremeled, sort of resemble pages, it's time to paint. I have to do just all the bases of these books, let that dry, and then come back. This is kind of what I'm thinking for color palette. Darker, more subtle tones. Very hobbity, very fantasy. I wonder how many of these I actually have. Let's count, shall we? It'll be so much fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 with the base book. That was about my estimation earlier, right?
10 more books.
I don't know. That may have been a day ago, but it feels like 17 years. I am going to be painting these books for the rest of my life. Speaking of lifelong regret, Nick and I did trivia with our friends last night. It was speed trivia, which I've never done before, and I absolutely hated with every fiber of my being. Do not recommend. It was not enjoyable. I had one of the most shameful experiences of my life. One of the questions was asking, in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, who is the sausage king of Chicago? And my brain immediately flushed out everything I ever knew about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And to be fair, given a few more seconds, maybe I could have thought about it. I I'm so ashamed. Of course, it's Abe Froman. And you know what the even crueler part is? Earlier that night, when we all sat down at the table, I made a joke about Nick being the hot dog king of Chicago, only to then have that question asked of me and not know the answer. The shame I feel, I'll never live it down. I'm going to be 67 years old, wake up in a hot sweat in the middle of the night, rocking myself back to sleep, going, Abe Froman, Abe Froman. I feel like we're friends, right? So I had to let you in on my shame. I understand if you don't want to be my friend anymore. I wouldn't want to either. I'm kind of just going color by color here, at least feeling like I'm making some progress. It's not great. Tally-ho. At this point, besties, I was feeling very overwhelmed. Nick offered to help because he is amazing and honestly saved me from a mentee bee. I then had to go over all the pages because not all my foam was the same color, and I feel like it just added a lot of dimensionality to it anyways. Good evening. I'm feeling a bit better. I had some noodles. It's enough to soothe the weariest soul. Now is the fun part, where I am going to add some of the details onto the binding. No point in putting it on the top because these are going to be stacked. Gilding paint, teeny weeny paintbrushes. I'm just gonna go for it. They are quite messy up close, but that's okay because there's a lot going on. And I feel like that's kind of my method when it comes to projects and my personality. Just give people too much and they start to look at something and think something's not quite right with that. Then you just hit them with something else like, oh, what's over here? Oh, there's something going on over here. It's very enthusiastic carny, distracting you while my associates pick your pocket. I give you a painting time lapse. Diddle-a-doo, 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 diddle-a-doo. Then, much like Nick Fury, it was time to assemble, which I was quite nervous about. But I just took my handy-dandy heat knife outside, cut a hole through, which was really easy, and then just slid them down. Still in quite disbelief that this worked, let's head to the reveal. It is done. This fat stick. I'm so pleasantly surprised that it all came together in the end. I know I say this a lot. For pretty much every project. But for sure, this one, I went into it with such lack of preparation and only an idea, not really thinking how I was gonna execute it. Didn't know if the wooden dowel was gonna work and hold the weight. To be fair, it was leaning a bit, and I did add some rocks to the bottom book, and it seems to be holding up fine, so. She is almost as tall as me. You know, it's really a shame that this was such a pain in the ass to make, because I would love to make more with varying levels of height, which I still might do. We'll see. I won't rule it out. Okay. But this took me, I guess in the grand scheme of things, not that long. It took me 3 days, but 3 very long, tedious, excruciatingly repetitive days. I think that the spines look really, really good. The pages, I think it looks like books. It also, I don't know if I've just been watching too much Is It Cake, but it also kind of looks like cake. Except my own version. Is it trash? Netflix. That was this. I whittled down both my trash stash, my fabric stash, and in return I got a very whimsical piece of decor. So I am over the moon about it. Like I said, it's very messy up close, but you know what? I'm going with, that's the lore, is that they're old, historic, falling apart books. So I hope that you had fun. I'm so excited for the next like 3 videos. Gird thy loins, we're gonna have some fun. Again, thanks so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. The first 500 of you that click the link in the description will get to try a month free. I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every other Friday. What if I booty bumped the book stack? I'm not gonna do that. And we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Come here, baby. Come here. Come here.
There's more where that came from up here. Come on. Hello? I literally just saw it.
Huh?
Get out of here, Betty. It's not about you.
Wow. I make fire.